delicious with salsa. Give Mexican a go with fresh chicken, peppers, onion and an old El Paso fajita dinner kit. Share the fun.
I'm Zoe Looker, and we're going to make you love the place you're in.
Love the Place You're In starts Monday at 10, exclusive to UK TV Style.
We need one of these for our holidays. The wife would set the kitchen sink if she could.
Yes.
Bye.
Motoring, sponsored by Halfords, going the extra mile.
Okay, it's time to do the Cool War, and we have a problem. Because, you see, since I came up with this idea, a couple of years ago, I've always used Kristen Scott Thomas, the actress, as a yardstick. The idea being that if you drove over to Paris, where she lives, how would she react to any given car that you happen to be in? Well, the problem is that while we were off there, I actually met her. Lovely girl, but it turns out she drives a Honda Civic. And she doesn't really like the Aston Martin DB9 that we have in a special super section here. She much prefers the Bentley Continental in red.
In red. So we're going to have to change everything. The Aston's got to go down there. We're going to put that in the fridge. It's a complete switch around.
No. No, it isn't. No, we're just going to find a new yardstick.
But you can't just tell us that a yard isn't a yard. That's the measure.
No, I'm sorry, Kristen. Beautiful girl, absolutely lovely, but gone. The new yardstick is Fiona Bruce, the newsreader.
Until she turns out not to be a yard, I presume. Then
we'll get Sophie Raywood.
All right, let's apply the new yardstick to this. This is an example of a car that actually isn't very good at all, as we agreed last year, is on top yet. However,
Chrysler 300C.
It's a Chrysler 300C. It's a Chrysler 300C, and it is cool.
Wrong. I'm going to give you 4 words: Rio, Rooney, Wayne, and Ferdinand. They have a Chrysler 300C.
Well,
Wayne Rooney's got that car. It's dead.
Isn't Wayne Rooney supposed to be cool? I thought, he is cool. His girlfriend, Colleen, what's her name? Colleen. She's got her face, is on the cover of Vogue. She's on the front of Vogue magazine. That's pretty cool.
Yes, but people who look like her are more normally found on the front of Blackpool in a kiosk selling chips.
Who thinks that is a cool car? Oh, no, that's just... I still maintain that's gone again. One day,
you'll still lose. Now, the Golf, which is here. We read recently that the Pope has got one. Now, we think as celebrity endorsements go, it's a big one. I drive one, he drives one. It's pretty big, so we're thinking if you'd like to move that up a bit, that would be...
I can't reach that.
There's another one here, the Maserati Quattroporte, which we have here. Now, since we put it there, Bonio out of U2.
Bonio himself?
Bonio is a cool man, and he's done his bit for third world debt by buying one of those, because he sent his money to Italy. So, he's saying that actually might even move now into super cool. Anybody else got any thoughts on cars they see here that ought to be moved? You what? Sorry, hang on, come over here. The Mitsubishi Evo is what? That's honestly, I'm not joking. You remember when Neville Chamberlain got off the plane, waved a piece of paper around? That was the last time someone was as wrong as you just been. Peace in our time. I'm sorry? Which Porsche have you got in mind?
Yellow.
The yellow one.
Things you shouldn't say here.
Where do you want it moving to?
I think it's cool. I'm sure.
He's a cool-looking guy, this bloke, actually.
But he's let himself down when he opened his trap. I'm aware that we are actually still before the watershed, but I'm going to show you something.
Oh, not the Alfa Romeo.
It's the Alfa Romeo Brera. There it is. Oh, that's filth. That is filth. I have to say, that's the first time that's ever happened to me on television. Okay.
Every time I see this, it's Nobby Stiles, Jeff Hurst, Bobby Charlton.
What a thing. But I'm just going to take that with me.
Richard's gone to the lavatory with the picture of the Alfa Romeo. My turn next. Right, now we've got to move on. With this, it's a mobile phone. And it's also an internet, and it's an address book, and it's a camera. And if it's possible to do this, then I wonder, is it possible to turn a Range Rover into a sports car. Now, obviously, it's very difficult when you've got a bunch of hippies chained to the production line, but that hasn't stopped Land Rover from trying. This is what they've come up with, the Range Rover Sport. They say that making it was a challenge, and I'm not surprised, because things which are tall are not sporty. I know this. Even so, this new car goes from 0 to 60 in 7 seconds. And it has so much power that the top speed has had to be pegged at 140 to stop the tyres bursting. And what's more, Land Rover say it's not just fast in a straight line. They say that thanks to some fancy new anti-roll bars, it can also handle the bends. They're right, it does. The steering's sharp, the brakes are massive, it doesn't roll too much. Bump and then a bend, and it just takes it all in its stride. Well, at any rate, it's very, very good, this. It's really very, very, very good. I'd say it was even more nimble than a Porsche Cayenne Turbo, and more comfortable, and more economical. Probably do 12 miles to the gallon. You careful? And then there's the driving position. See, in a normal off-road car, you sit up high and you have to kind of reach down to operate everything. But in this, I'm still sitting high up, but they've raised the center console and the whole dashboard, so I feel cocooned, like I'm in the cockpit of a fighter bomber. We're now cruising at 35,000 feet, which we are. So, quite an achievement then, turning a mud-plugging Range Rover into a growling Nighthawk mud mover. Except they haven't, because this isn't a Range Rover. I know it looks like a Range Rover, but the Sport is 5 inches shorter and lower. The two cars don't share a single piece of bodywork, and it's the same story underneath. The chassis is from the new Discovery. The brakes are from Brembo. The supercharged 4.2-litre V8 engine is from Jaguar, and so's the steering. And it uses the same sort of suspension components as a Porsche 911. Sounds great, but there are some drawbacks. If that pulled up outside your house, you'd think, oh no, a drug dealer is here. And then there are some of the details. I mean, the radiator grille, for example, looks like the sort of towel rail that would be bought by the left back for Cheshire United. Then you've got this black stuff here around the bottom of the window. I know why they've done it, to cover up the fact the dashboard's been raised, but it's ugly. And so are the side skirts. But the worst thing of all is the tailgate, because on a proper Range Rover, it splits like that. On this one, you can either open the rear window for no reason that I can think of, or you can open the whole tailgate. Fine, but you're at a point-to-point, okay? Without a flappy bit down here, where do you sit? Of course, the Sport is cheaper than a proper Range Rover. You can have one with a turbo diesel V6 for £34,000, which is almost cheaper than a horse. But, I'm sorry, you can't have this car with a diesel engine. You're like saying, well, I won't go to Stringfellows tonight, I'll get my mum to give me a lap dance. She's a woman. Yeah, but you have to have this £59,000 supercharged V8 because taste and tailgate aside, it really does seem to have all the bases covered. It's a high-riding fat boy hot hatch, a satellite-guided stereo with 20-inch rim. It's also a 140-mile-an-hour mobile phone. It's a living room. It's got a fridge, and I'm fairly sure that somewhere in here there's a tool for getting the stones out of horses' hooves. It seems to do everything.
It's isn't ready yet.
Hold on. Every new bike gets a complete safety check.